Hello my dear friends, you're on the Military Summary channel, and today we will discuss the situation in Ukraine on the 1st of September. Today we have a lot of very interesting updates, so let's start. First we're going to discuss the morning attempt of Ukrainians of seizing the Zaporozhye power plant. This is Energodar. This is the small town that's located on the north of Zaporozhye area, this one. It's not a very big town, but this town is famous for its nuclear power plant, this one. And today the Ukrainians tried to establish control over this power plant. Their plan was very interesting, but they was unlucky. And the Russians managed to defeat the Ukrainians in this area, and the Ukrainians lost a lot of soldiers, a lot of very professional soldiers. Some sources are saying that Ukraine lost all their soldiers, not all that, a lot of forces from special department, and those soldiers were trained by United Kingdom. So I understand that they were very professional and they waste their life for nothing. According to the Russian sources, somewhere at 6 a.m., the Ukrainians crossed this river and attack small town on the north of this small, let's say, land, this one, in this area. The Russians are saying that Ukrainians used around 7 boats, and there were around 60 commandos in these boats. If you take a look at this map, this is the Energodar, this is the power plant. So as you can see, the Ukrainians tried to establish the bridgehead in this area, near these farms. By the way, it's a very nice position. As you can see, there are a lot of forest in this area. There are a lot of some residential area. So there are a lot of places where the Ukrainians were able to establish their position and to cross this area and to be unseen. Furthermore, later this day we got update, according to the Russian sources, that there were around 7 commandos groups in this town who were expected the main forces from the mainland, but as far as I understand, during the day some of these commandos were spotted and destroyed, and maybe some of them are still in this town. So the Ukrainians crossed this river. As you can see, it's not a lot there, the distance is not very big. If we try to calculate, that's less than 7 kilometers from this area. So it didn't take much time to cross this area using the boats. Furthermore, as you know, the IAEA were planning to visit this power plant, so that's why the Russians were forced to move out their heavy equipment, tanks and so on from this town, because it's not a very good idea to keep heavy equipment when IAEA are coming, and this was the reason why everybody insists of visiting of this group, because everybody wants to demilitarize this area. So that's why the Russians were forced to leave, to move the heavy weapon from this area and to move a lot of forces. And there was just the National Guard in this area, as far as I understand. And of course, most of the Russian military experts are saying that those 60 soldiers of commandos were enough as a first way to take control over the power plant before the second wave are coming. So as a result of this attack, the first wave, these 67 boats were able to reach the coast, and 60 commandos, those commandos moved in direction of Energodar. The thing is that also later this day we got update from the Russians, from the many Russian sources, that the Russians knew about this operation, and they were following, and they were going after the Ukrainians all along this operation. And some sources are saying that the Russians didn't start this operation earlier of destroying of these commandos, because they were expecting when the main forces from Nikopol started their movement, because there is no, it's not very good if you are able to destroy a battalion of forces, so it's better to wait a little bit. So the first wave started their movement at 6 a.m. and at 7 a.m. another group started their movement from direction of Nikopol, from this area in direction of some sources are saying that they were moving in direction of Vodyane, this town, But some sources are saying that these forces were moving in direction of this port, of the port of nuclear power plant in this area, this one, because this area is very close to the ex-nuclear warehouse depot in this area, and that was the main idea of the Ukrainians, to establish control over this area. If we take a look at this map, and if the Ukrainians were planning to land in this area, in Vadiane, as the sources are saying, so that means that the Ukrainians still had to cross something around 8 kilometers without armored, without any vehicles. This is not a very easy job, but believe me, like on their foot, they would have to spend maybe an hour to get this area, like 8 kilometers fully equipped. It's not very easy, by the way. So some sources are saying that the main direction of Ukrainians were to get to this port in this area. Of course, if we take a look at the kilometers, it's 11 kilometers in comparison with this area. There are just 9 kilometers. But if we are talking about taking the power plant, this position is much more better. Furthermore, according to the plan, by that time the Ukrainians, the commandos, those 60 soldiers, should have taken this area by the time the second wave arrived near Zaporozhye power plant. But something went wrong. And if you take a look at the Russian sources map, you're going to see that somewhere in this area, these two barges were destroyed. There is like even a video, an icon of one barge, this one, and there are no video and updates about the second barge. But anyways, you can see they are very far from the port. So I suppose that by the time that these barges were somewhere in the middle of this area, they got some information that the commandos in this area were spotted and that was some kind of trap. So that's why they decided to change their direction and not to go directly to this port, and they decided to turn to the right, or maybe even to turn around, but it's not very easy to turn around this very heavy barge. You need to do some hook. Maybe they were trying to turn back even, but by the time the Russians spotted them, according to their sources, they were following them since the beginning, and they destroyed these two barges, and this operation failed. Now let's talk about a little bit about IAEA. This is the focal point in this special operation. The thing is that the Ukrainians were planning to get into the power plant at the same time when IAEA arrives. In this case, of course, if the Ukrainians got this power plant and IAEA arrived, that means that the Russians wouldn't start any clashes, any offensive operation in this area, because it's like it's wrong and you can't do this right in front of IAEA specialists. So that's why that was a very interesting and clever, very interesting plan. Not clever as we see according to the result, but anyway. I don't think that IAEA knew about this plan, because I understand that everybody in the world, the Russians, the United States of America, everybody wants to have some neutral company as IAEA, and I suppose that they didn't know about this operation. That operation, according to the Russian sources, were planned by the United Kingdom. Furthermore, the Russians during the day were saying that that there were also some artillery duel in this area as soon as the Ukrainians understood that they were spotted, and that the Russians started hunting their forces. They start shelling this area, trying to pin down and fix the Russians, and to give their main forces possibility to get the boats and to retreat on that bank of the river. And the Russians, because of that, the Russians started shelling this bank of the river, and some sources are saying that during this artillery duel, up to 6 authorities from the Ministry of Defense of the United Kingdom were killed. I'm not saying that it's true, maybe it's some kind of rumors or speculation, but anyway, during the day we got this update. Furthermore, some Russian sources are saying that there were NATO officers on these barges as well. To tell the truth, I haven't seen like dead bodies on the river from the Ukrainian side, or dead bodies on the bank or on the coast. I haven't seen them yet. I suppose that maybe soon we're going to see some information, But according to the Russians, as a result of this operation, the Ukrainians lost up to 1 battalion of special forces who were trained in the United Kingdom according to the NATO standard during the previous months, just on the river. They haven't even reached this coast and this bank of the river. And these 60 commanders as well were killed. Three of them were captured, and two of them was in very critical situation. So the Ukrainians were defeated in this area. IAEA, they reached the power plant, and as far as I know, they left around 3 specialists in this area, and the main group left Energodar because of dangers of being attacked and shelled by the Ukrainians. But anyway, as far as I understand, that starting today, the official status of power plant is under Russian control because they're IAEA, and now they are able to spot and to figure out about any single shell or artillery attack on this town. So we can say that this area from now on and forever is going to be under Russian control, only if the Ukrainians can do something to break the situation. But if we're talking about the break in the situation, I suppose that there is a break of situation, but not in Ukrainian favor. Now we are going to discuss the report of Ministry of Defense of Russian Federation. They gave us new numbers. They are saying that during the previous day, the Ukrainian lost in this area up to 350 soldiers in the battle for Kherson, and up to 96 vehicles, including tanks, including some just vehicles and so on. If we're talking about the front line, the Ukrainians were planning to develop and to increase their bridgehead. Mainly they were trying to do this in Belogorovka, Andreevka, Lazovo area. The Russians are trying to attack this area from all sides. As you can see, this is some kind of artillery back. It's a very nice position for the Russians to attack and shell this area using artillery, but the Ukrainians are moving more and more forces in this back, trying to develop their bridgehead. If we're talking about Vysokopolye, Olgina, the Russians announced this morning that they still hold this area, and now the situation is not very easy, but the situation is stable. It's very important. That means that they're not going to leave. They're not going to retreat from this position. Yes, it's very hard, very difficult, but they control the situation. The same situation in Arkhangelsk, the Ukrainians still control the north part, but anyway, the front line stopped. Some sources are saying that the front line is stopped not because of the Ukrainians decided not to continue this offensive operation today. Right before the creating of this video, I got updated that there is a special meeting on the Bankova. It's like the street where the Zelensky works, and now they decide what to do next, to continue or to stop. Zaluzhny, the head of the Ukrainian army, asking Zelensky to stop. But I suppose that what are they doing right now is that they're regrouping. They are planning another steps, and the most important one is that all hospitals around this area is full of wounded soldiers. So they just need to be on the safe side. They just need to get more blood. They need to bring more fuel, everything, more reinforcement, and to clear the hospitals just to be prepared and ready for the next steps. Because if they start this offensive operation today, there is no places around these towns like Kryvyi Rog, Mykolaiv, where the Ukrainians are able to keep their wounded soldiers. So they will die. And so that's why they need to solve this issue, this logistic issue, before doing the next steps. And I suppose that maybe the next steps are going to be much more bloody than they used to be during the previous days. If we are talking about other areas, very important update are coming from the area of, let's take a map of this position, from Artyomovsk. As you can see, the front line is stable, but the Russians are saying that 72nd Mechanized Brigade finally left their position in a known direction. There was a case of desertion because of unprepared, unsupport, because of poor quality of everything in Ukrainian army. So that's why 72nd Brigade decided to leave their position. The same situation we can say about 93rd. According to this map, 93rd is located on Izum bridgehead, but the Russians are saying that in the small town Chasov Yar, very famous town, the Russians attacked this town for many times used in the past, and a lot of brigades were destroyed in this area. So the Russians are saying that 93rd Brigade lost up to 100 soldiers and 15 armored vehicles. A very interesting update are coming from the north, from Kharkiv area. There is like some updates from the Russian side. Today, the 14th Mechanized Brigade were trying near area Ruski Tishkin, were trying to do, or they were trying to do some counter-offensive operation, or maybe they were sent to do something. But anyway, they got under fire, where they were damaged heavily, and they decided to retreat. And while retreating, as we discussed many times, there is like anti-retreat forces, and if we're talking about Kharkiv, Kraken is the main anti-retreat, and Foreign Legion is the main anti-retreat forces in this area. So the Russians are saying that as a result of anti-retreat action, these Kraken special forces killed up to 56 soldiers from this 14th Mechanized Brigade. Furthermore, today by this evening, I got very interesting updates that Chernigov Tank Brigade, that located near Chernigov. If we take a look map this position, we won't find any tank brigade in this area, but the sources are saying that maybe there were some battalions were moved from these positions. And the Russians are saying that this brigade wasn't moved in direction of Kherson because it's not the time to do this. And the sources are saying that Chernigov Tank Brigade were moved in direction of Kharkiv. So there are a lot of forces in Kharkiv. We discussed that many times, and the Russians expect the new strike exactly from this area. As I told you, maybe I didn't tell you, but we got also a lot of very interesting updates that there are a lot of armored vehicles in the Kharkiv underground. Kharkiv underground is able to hold and stand against the nuclear attack, because this power plant, this underground, was built during the Soviet times. So there are a lot of armored vehicles, and just one order and they will all go on the surface, and after that they will be able to develop their offensive operation in any direction. But I suppose that if the Ukrainians are going to start something, they're going to attack in direction of this one, in these two towns, from Chuguyev in direction of Balaklia. So this attack, it's not direction in direction of Russian border. It's direction to clear and liberate the Kharkiv region on the north, on the east side of Ukraine. And that's it for today. Military Summary channel reminds you that we condemn any violence in Ukraine. Thank you for watching. Subscribe to my channel, put your likes, join my Patreon, and have a good day. Thank you. Bye bye.